Hi guys. So I wasn't going to make a video tonight, but I changed my mind. So this is the video that I'm going to be putting out for the partial solar eclipse that we're having on September 21st, this Sunday. Now, the times are going to be based off of like Eastern time zone. Yeah, I wasn't going to post anything because I worked all day and just wasn't feeling like it, but I saw something that inspired me again, and I need to start inspiring myself. So here we are. Quick recap on the lunar eclipse we just had. That was dealing with things we were bringing to an end and a closure. Closing out chapters, endings, that's kind of been what's playing out for the last 2 weeks. And if it's not something immediately that's ended, I mean, you can clearly feel things are ending in certain areas. And if they're not ending, maybe shifting. It could be related to work, relationships, lifestyle habits. After we've been integrating these energies of the things that we're bringing to an end to change, this solar eclipse is what's going to set us on the path of our new beginnings. Due to it being a partial solar eclipse, it's not considered as pronounced, but they're still very powerful. This solar eclipse will be taking place in the sign of Virgo. Virgo deals with our health and healing, service to others. Virgo also deals with our intellect because Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And luckily, throughout this solar eclipse, we have an exalted Mercury hanging out right there with the sun and the moon. Let me just backtrack a little bit. The solar eclipse is only partial because K2 is not exactly conjunct in the same sign. K2 is actually playing this partial solar eclipse behind the sun and moon in Leo. Now, if K2 is exactly conjunct, then he would help the moon fully block out the light of the sun. But since he's not, he'll only be partially covered. All right, back on track here. I do want to mention that if you have prominent placements within Cancer, Leo, Virgo, or Pisces, this eclipse may be more powerful in its effects. This is because the moon rules Cancer, the sun rules Leo, Mercury rules Virgo, and right over up there in Pisces, we have Saturn and Neptune retrograde. Why am I mentioning Pisces involvement? That's because the solar eclipse is going to be happening at 4 degrees of Virgo, which is directly opposing Saturn at 4 degrees and Neptune at 6 degrees. But Neptune's still within that 3-degree orbit. But we can't forget, Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, so we also have Jupiter's involvement. But Jupiter's over here hanging out in Gemini. So we'll jump back to Jupiter a little later in this video. Also, due to the fact that Neptune and Saturn there are both retrograde, which makes them more powerful there. When a planet is retrograde, it's actually strengthened in its effects. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's stronger than an exalted planet and other factors and variables that may be going on. So I did touch base yesterday about the sun and exalted Mercury being there in Virgo, but now we have the moon that's moved there with them. The moon rules our emotions, how we're feeling, our personality, our feminine selves. The sun is our more, the masculine. And Mercury deals with our thinking, our processing, and communication. Because Mercury's pretty excited right now, you want to make sure you're thinking through your decisions, not just impulsively making them. But that's more of a Mars type of thing to do. Okay, back to business. With this opposition between the sun, moon, and Saturn and Neptune, there's something very karmic playing out here. I say karmic due to what nakshatras these planets will be in. The sun and moon will be in the nakshatra Uttara Phalguni, and Saturn and Neptune are in the nakshatra Uttara Bhadrapada. Those are the marriage nakshatras. Now, it's not only karmic in nature due to the nakshatras. There is much more to it. But I'm gonna have to do a part 2 tomorrow because it's not letting me add any more to this video, which that's fine. It's getting late and I have to work in the morning anyways. If you've made it through this video tonight, thank you for sticking with me. I promise I will have part 2 out by tomorrow, late afternoon or evening after work. But I will get to explaining these nakshatras and explaining all of the other transits happening that will be increasing any effects that we're having from this solar eclipse. I'm looking forward to it, and I love all of you. Good night.